The campaign strategy was you want to get people to your point of view. You stir the pot, you stoke the fear. And I think what you see the president doing is what we're not used to presidents doing. Presidents don't usually stoke fear. What they usually do is try and comfort people and say, you know, we have it under control.
And there is a threat out there. There is a terror threat that the U.S. is facing. Let's not negate that.
But if he's worried about the public opinion about his policy, what he's going to do and what he's doing is saying to people, you need to believe me. I know more than you do. You should be very afraid. And what we're going to do is fix it.
That's good enough for a campaign strategy. It's not good enough for the courts. The courts need to have some concrete evidence, and there's an opportunity you could provide in a classified setting to the court. You can't just do the schoolyard, I know something you don't know, and say, just trust me. What the courts made clear yesterday in the Ninth Circuit was judicial deference is certainly warranted for presidents in terms of national security, but it's not automatic. And more importantly, just a bald assertion of national security is not going to be carte blanche to violate the Constitution. And so, again, you had the President of the United States saying, listen, there is a real threat, and a credible threat against the United States. Well, the court said, tell us what it is. Give us a reason to reinstate the ban, and he could not.
David, let me read to what the bottom line, what the unanimous decision of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals was last night, going against the president. Sensitive issue. We hold that the government, meaning the U.S. government, has not shown a likelihood of success on the merits of its appeal, nor has it shown that failure to enter a stay would cause irreparable injury, and we therefore deny its emergency motion for a stay. The president made it clear today we're going to go through the court process. He said, ultimately, I have no doubt we'll win that particular case. It's unclear what he means by that. But this was a major rebuke of the president's travel ban.
Well, it was because the court was pushing back in a couple of areas. One, that they have an opportunity to review it, that the president gets deference on national security, but it doesn't mean that he can't be questioned by the judiciary. And two, what is the specific evidence that requires the executive order? And that has not been forthcoming. Ultimately, the president may indeed be right on the law, which is he may win because the president gets so much deference on national security. But the political realm here, you heard the president talk about, look, there were a lot of people, I'm going to bring jobs back to all these states that voted for me, essentially. Well, he's doing that on the security ban as well. He campaigned on the idea that there's all these bad people overseas and that they're coming to get us. He doesn't have specific evidence for that, but he's making an argument, as are his advisors, that the U.S. is vulnerable like Europe is vulnerable. But that ignores the fact that we have much better safeguards here, particularly for refugees. And he never mentions that point. If you're a Syrian refugee, you can't just get on a plane and come into the country. It takes as long as 2 years.
Yeah.
So this is just fear. It's the stoking of fear without any real evidence, and we saw more of it today. And by the way, this also frustration on his part that he has to answer questions about this when it's off topic.
Right. You know, Laura, I just want your analysis. When he says we'll go through the court process, and he predicts ultimately the administration will win, what are the options? What are the next steps?
Well, he could go in on, which means he could ask more of justices from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals to weigh in, as much as 11 others, to say, anyone else feel differently, give him something to work with. Or he could go right to the Supreme Court and say, listen, can you please reinstate this ban under a standard that says they abused her discretion or they were wrong entirely to even suspend it? But either way, we are not at the merits of the case. It's going to go back to Judge Robart in Seattle District Court to say, all right, what are we working with now? Give me a record to develop. Was there an intent to have a Muslim ban? What is your evidence for that? Let me help you develop that particular case. And all we're talking about now is, was there a likelihood of success? Not a guarantee, but you're right, David. There's a lot of deference given to the President of the United States in the national security arena. But our courts and the Supreme Court entirely has often checked that balance, from denying passports to suspected communists to Japanese internment camp victims. And so there is a very marked history where we question any trampling of the Constitution, even national security.
Do we presume the court would take this, given the fact that there